When I was a child, I lived with my family at our farm in Henderson, Colorado. My parents raised my two brothers and me there. We had a domestic well from which we drew all our household water, including our drinking water. The small town of Henderson, which is now practically a suburb of the Denver area, is downstream in its underground water movement from the Rocky Mountain Arsenal. A lot of the water from the arsenal makes its way past our farm as it moves along its way to the Platte River Basin. In the 1950s, the United States Army used the arsenal as its chemical warfare staging ground. It produced many chemical weapons, including sarin nerve agent, one of the most toxic chemicals ever made by man. It also produced napalm, Agent Orange, and pesticides. Shell Oil leased parts of the property for 30 years, making matters worse with benzene contamination. Many of these cancer-causing chemicals can dissolve in water and easily enter drinking water supplies. My family was unaware of the dangers posed by the chemicals from the arsenal. We were also unaware of the irresponsible management and production practices there. We drew water from our well and drank it, until Rocky Mountain Arsenal was found to be unfit for human activity and declared a Superfund site in 1987.
When I moved back to the U.S., I chose Denver because I'd heard of the mountains, fresh air, and active lifestyle. I never had heard of Commerce City before. I first noticed it when I was driving along Highway 270. It just reeks, and the Suncor petroleum refinery emits a plume of vapor you can see for miles. Suncor's bad business practices lead to benzene and other toxic chemicals being released into the air and the water. Over the past few months, Suncor has leaked benzene into the waters of Sand Creek, the air around its facilities, and into the Atlantic Ocean. Benzene is bad news. It causes cancer, and through high exposures, benzene causes sickness and death. Low exposures contribute to leukemia and other bone marrow diseases. Suncor and other oil companies pollute the air and water around their industrial complexes. Workers in petroleum refineries have the highest occupational risk of benzene sickness. Because of jobs and revenues created by Suncor, it's hard to get them to leave Colorado. Consumer demand for oil does not help the problem either. I drive a scooter and use the bus whenever possible. I eat food that is locally produced. But this is not enough. What more can I do?
After moving off the farm, my little brother was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes. This turn of events was tragic and unexpected, given that there is no history of type 1 diabetes in my family. Like so many victims of environmental irresponsibility, we know that chemical contamination made my brother sick, but we can't prove it. We now use our land for organic farming, where we graze animals and keep free-range chickens. I become a soil scientist so that I can understand the connection between our environment, our food, and our health. Commerce City, Colorado still faces many industrial pollution challenges. We can't undo the past, but working together we can make the future better.